Honorable Lecturer, Mr. Aditya Pratama and Mr. Hanif Mulia, and Lecturer of Evaluators. Thank you for the opportunity to present my research proposal today. My name is Muhammad Rahmat Zaqiyudin from Economic Education 2019, and I would like to present my research proposal entitled is The Effect of Education Level, Income Inequality, and Population Growth on Poverty in Eastern Indonesia. In this proposal research, I have three chapters. Chapter 1 is Introduction, Chapter 2 is Level Review, and Chapter 3 is Research Methodology. Chapter 1, Introduction, have a background, research question, research objective, and research benefit. Introduction, poverty. Poverty is a problem in Indonesian national development, which is currently unevenly distributed and tends to be concentrated in the specific areas. It is recorded that several provinces in Eastern Indonesia have been among key provinces with high poverty rates over the last few years compared to others. Low level of education, income inequality, and increasing population growth in these regions are some of the factors that influence the poverty level in this area. I have identified a research gap where, despite various development initiatives, poverty level in several provinces in Eastern Indonesia remain high. It is likely influenced by the interrelationship between education, income inequality, and demographic pressure. This question is, I have four. One is, does the education level have an effect on poverty in Eastern Indonesia? Does income inequality have an effect on poverty in Eastern Indonesia? Does the population growth rate have an effect on poverty in Eastern Indonesia? Do the educational level, income inequality, and population growth rate simultaneously have an effect on poverty in Eastern Indonesia? And then research objective is to determine the effect of educational level, income inequality, of population of growth rate on poverty in Eastern Indonesia. And then to determine the effect of educational level, income inequality, and population growth rate simultaneously on poverty in Eastern Indonesia. This is a research benefits on my proposal research. Number one is theoretical benefits. This research is expected to contribute insight regarding the factor influencing province, particularly in Eastern Indonesia, and serve as reference for the other and further studies. And then benefit for student is the studios serve as an intellectual training tool expected to serve an analytical skill, particularly in applying economic theories validating their studies. And benefit for the government is the research is expected to provide information for policymakers in their effort to reduce poverty level in Eastern Indonesia. And we go in chapter 2 is a literary review. I have four main. Number one is sporting theories, previous studies, territorial framework, and research hypothesis. In this sporting theories, I have four theories to provide my research. Number one is Relative poverty theory. Relative poverty is defined as from poverty that occurs due to influence of development policies that have not yet resolved a level society, thereby causing income inequality of disparity in living standard. And number second, have a structural poverty theory. Structural poverty is a form of poverty caused by low access to resource. And I have Gary Baker Human Capital Investment Theory. In this theory, views education as investment that will enhance the quality of the workplace, productivity, and the competitive, which are directly correlated with increased income and reduction in poverty rates. And I have a Malthusian theory. Malthus states that focusing growth exponentially will result explosive growth linearly. This imbalance creates pressure on resource and basic facilities such as schools and hospitals, which ultimately hinders development and exacerbates poverty. And I have I found previous studies to my proposal research. Number one is Jana M. Sari, 2023. The study finds that the average year of schooling variable has a negative and significant effect on poverty. And Rachmad is et al. In 2023, the study finds that income inequality has a significant effect on professional poverty in Indonesia. And then I have Kazaji as Kukamatologu. The study finds that income equality has a positive effect on poverty, while education and investment have a significant negative effect on poverty. And then previous studies another like Nursi and Malner DG 2022. The study finds that income inequality variable has a significant effect on poverty. And on LE, MS, and Abidin have been the study finds that the population growth variable has a negative impact on poverty. This my theoretical framework is educational level have a significant on the poverty and income equality have the effect on poverty and population growth have been effect of poverty. And this line show effect of correlation on a variable have a partial effect and simultaneous effect. Based on these theories, I formulate four hypotheses. Hypothesis 1 predicts that educational level has a significant negative effect on the poverty. Hypothesis 2 and 3 predicts that income inequality and population growth have a significant positive effect on poverty. And hypothesis 4 expects that all three variables have a significant simultaneous effect. And then we go on chapter 2 is research methodology. On this chapter 3, we have three submain like unit of analysis, population and sample, data collection techniques, operational definition of variables, and data analysis technique. Unit of analysis, population and sample. Unit analysis on the research, I choose Eastern Indonesian province, Eastern Indonesian province. And the population in the study comprised 13% in Eastern Indonesia. Namely, it's Bali, West Nusa Tenggara, East Nusa Tenggara, North Sulawesi, Gorontalo, Central Sulawesi, West Sulawesi, South Sulawesi, Southeast Sulawesi, North Maluku, Maluku, Papua, and West Papua. And the sample is to be consists of the population data limited to period from 2019 to 2025. Data collection techniques I'm studying were obtained using secondary data on the operational definition of variables. On conceptual definition, property is a condition economics inability to meet the average living standard of the community in the region. An education level refers to state of education based on individual development level. Income inequality refers to the difference in income received by the community. Population growth refers to the change in population size over a certain period involving either an increase or decreases in population. An operator definition, the powerful level used in the percentage of poor people in Indonesia by province from 2019 to 2025. Education level is measured by the average years of schooling. Income inequality is measured using the provincial Gini ratio. Population growth is measured by the population growth rate. And then this data analysis techniques, I choose have a first step. Number one is estimation model determination. I choose multiple linear regression with that panel data. And number two, model selection test. Have a three tests, like a choice test, Hausman test, and linear multiple test. And classical assumption test. I have a normal test with multi-coordinate test, heterogeneity test, and on hypothesis testing, I have a particle test, party test, simultaneous test of if test, and coefficient of determination auto R square. Regarding the methodology, many might ask why I choose multiple linear regression with data panel. This reason is that data panel combines both time series and cross-sectional data by using the method, so I can capture the specific character of its profiles, the cross-sectional aspect, while also observing how these variables change over the 2019 until 2025. This approach provides a much more robust and accurate estimate of the regional dynamics in Eastern Indonesia compared to using a single data type. Mhm. This is the description of the data type is important. It data can show us data from the room 19 until 2025. Obsession data of 13 province it is regulation. All data take from Statistic Indonesia or the best. And variable independent is education level, income equality, population growth, and dependent variable is poverty. Okay. In the forms that is the test, which of this, which is where probability value is 0.00 under the con, the result is frame, and the Houseman test is T-square probability is 19. Sorry, T-square probability is 0.01912. As the bigger of the T-con, the result is frame. And then when it's multiple tests, the push pagan probability term is under T-con, and the result is RAM or random effect model. And classical asymptom test, the first test normal test, the Jigorgara probability value is 0.14 is the middle, is the high on a significant level. The result data is normally distinguished. And then multi-coordinate test, correlating values between variables under 0.8. The result is now have a multi-collinearity. And then the third of classical assumption test is heteroscedasticity test with a Fishbagen method. All probability values of independent variables bigger than 0.05. There is no heteroscedasticity problem. And then this is a parallel data linear regression analysis. The selected model is the random effect model with the equation poverty is 2.852346 minus 0.106657 educational level plus 1.465875 Gini ratio plus 0.054135 population growth. And the constant coefficient values is 2.8523556. The coefficient value of the mean years of schooling or education level variables has a negative value of negative 0.106657. And the coefficient value of the Gini ratio variable has a positive value of the 1.465875. The coefficient value of the population growth variable has a positive value of 0.041350. And in the hypothesis test or partial test of econ, mean group of schooling has a econ value of negative 0.10667 with a significant value of 0.003 smaller than significant. Gini ratio has a con value of 1.465875 with a significance value of 0.0019. This is smaller than the con. This is significant, and population growth rate has con value of 0.041350 with a significant value of 0.0575. is higher from the and then the hypothesis test, coefficient of determination test or square based on the estimate table just above the just R square value obtained for is 0.320 3 or 32.9%. It's like this test explaining what uh, there are three variables of the poverty. The F of the F of poverty is education level, uh, Gini ratio, and then population of the birth is explained of the poverty 32.0609%, and then for the 67% can explain it by another variable. In the conclusion, there is negative and significant effect of the equilibrium level variable property in Indonesia with a coefficient of minus 0.106 and the probability value of 0.0003. There is a possible and significant effect of the income inequality variable on poverty in Eastern Indonesia with a coefficient of 1.465875 and a probability value of 0.009. There is a positive and not significant effect of the population growth variable on poverty in Eastern Indonesia with a coefficient of 0.041350 and a probability value of 0.0575. And the implication of my research genetically, the result of studies strengthen the theories used in this research, including the human resource investment theory, research by Gary Becker, structural poverty theory, relative poverty theory, which is aligned with the illustration of the Simon Kosnet curve and population growth theory models. And practically, this research can provide input for the real cases, such as the government, society, and academics. And then I have a research limitation and recommendation. Limitation is there are still many other factor variables that have not been studied. Education is only measured by the length of time in school. Data does not sufficiently reach remote area, only proficient areas. Average. Lack of detail in population data, and then the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic has not been separated. And recommendation for the future research is one if future research can have other factor variable. Future research can use more detailed and targeted data. Future research can try to find other indicators that show the quality of education. Is this the better for future research to not only look at the total population growth? Future research can especially compare conditions before, during, after, and COVID-19 pandemic. It is the result of my research. Thank you very much.